Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, Week 8 of the NFL begins tonight with the Vikings at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. 5:15 kick on Prime Video. The Vikings are 2.5-point road favorites. Only a 4-game slate tonight in the association. Your TNT doubleheader features Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs at Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. That's a 4:30 tip. The Mavericks are 9-point favorites. And then followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder at Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Denver, 2-point favorites in that one. And there is some top 25 action in college football tonight. Number 19 Pitt hosting Syracuse. 4:30 kick on ESPN. The undefeated Panthers are 5-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Live, local, and free. No subscription required. Portland's sports leader is 1080 The Fan. This is Danny and Dusty.
Meringatang is going to be a thing.
You're not coining anything new.
With Danny Meringue and Dusty, the Fan Man Hera.
I'll throw some monkey sounds in there and call it good.
The old Danny Meringue pie.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
The Fan.
Good afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Hey, welcome in. Happy Thursday, everyone. Danny and Dusty with you.
Indeed.
Look at this. What a time to be alive, huh?
Get you back in the building.
What a time to be alive. Yeah,
Fart
I'm
hammer.
back here. Fart Hammer, Jeremiah Coughlin.
Yeah.
Hey, he got his hair cut. When are you going to get yours?
Not happening.
Yeah, hippie. I saw it flip on my TV after the Blazer game, and I got some hippie on there telling me about the Blazers. Actually, it was more rednecky. It was very Kenny Powersy.
Yeah, very.
Oh, so it wasn't the Blazers,
I think
man.
No. It was more like the Blazers. I instantly regret saying that. That was a terrible thing to say.
Yeah. That's pretty much, I think, how you can sum up last night.
What did you put in your hair? Because it had a nice sheen to it.
Yeah,
it looked like you had like soul glow in it.
So
Just let your soul glow.
many people.
That was such a great movie.
Many
I love
people
Coming
thought
to America.
mentioned a little
Rest in peace, John Amos.
little Jerry curl. But,
R.I.P. Yeah, it was. It had a lot of glisten and
I
shine
wanna
to the
make sure I get the
curl.
right name. It's
The
in my
curls
notes.
were popping. It was a good look. It was a far better look than the Blazers.
Ooh,
We'll talk about
yeesh.
them
Look,
today.
that's a bar low enough to trip over.
Yowzles.
By the way, I did say yesterday my Stone Cold lock of the week was the Warriors -6.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Yeah, no, it's safe. I ripped the label off, but it is the.
Oh, it's the Crew
it's the
pomade.
Crew, but it's
Oh,
not
the
your-
American Crew
but-
pomade.
but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
used to use that
It's not
When you had hair?
when I had hair.
It's not like the pomade. It is
Yeah.
like
Oh, it's the sheen
it's
and
the,
shine.
it's the high shine.
Look at you.
There we
so
go.
I
Yeah.
couldn't remember what it was called.
All right.
Yeah, that was when I tried to grow my hair out when we had our second kid, and I caught a glimpse of the back of my head in the bathroom mirror, and I asked my wife, I'm like, why didn't you tell me I look so ridiculous?
That's tough. Look, wives out there that are listening right now, you need to hold us accountable.
Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
let me
When
know
it's
when
time
I
to
have
go,
the
it's time
old
to go.
balding yarmulke going,
Yeah.
something fierce.
Look, I think good friends should be able to tell you that too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you have
Where
to.
were you, dude?
You have. My bad. My bad. Hand up.
You're my boy, Blue.
Hand up. My bad.
Yeah.
Should have saved you. Should have saved you. But that's a tough look. And good friends, you can hop in there. You can hop in there and just say, it's time. It's time to come home. So just if that time comes for me, let me know.
I
All right?
will let you know.
Let me know.
You and I.
I'm okay with it.
Both of our hairlines are still okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like everybody's like, "Oh, you're safe." I don't ever want to admit I'm safe.
I have a terrible mustache. I look like a conquistador.
I have figured that drop out too. By the way,
Yeah.
all right, my mustache is getting a little bit thicker.
No,
You're
yeah.
getting there.
It's
We're
getting better.
We're getting there. We're doing good.
What makes me look like a conquistador is
the
that
soul patch?
I have
Yes.
like the soul patch, and I can't control that.
Yeah. And
like
it's not on purpose, is it?
my no.
it's just-
I just don't grow hair around here, and it gives me very conquistadorian vibes.
Yeah. To quote Bruce Hornsby, that's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. Yeah.
No, as far as the product goes, I tried like 4 different ones before I landed on that one. So, I went for I was trying to go for what you would call the wet look. So it lays down a little bit, so it doesn't get
Yeah,
poofy.
you were.
Oh God, I don't feel good.
You know what you look like though? You look like a guy who owns a strip club.
Yeah.
I mean that it looked like if you were to ask me what the owner of Sassy's looks like, I'd be like,
That guy.
that guy.
Yeah.
I
Or-
like
or
it, dude.
Perhaps the
I'm not
Dolph-
against it.
Perhaps the Dolphin 2.
Yeah,
I've got a mustache, so
had
I'm. He who has creepy stash
Shall cast no stones.
shall cast the first one,
Yes,
I
there you
believe
go.
here,
Yes, that's how this
because I'm
works.
I'm in the company here. I mean, you look like you own the club. I look like I'm like a regular.
Yeah,
there,
that's true.
right?
You look like you pay covers.
This is what we got going on right now.
Yeah. My my other boss may or may not have asked me to maybe not go without a hat, and so I told my wife that my plan was, look, I'm gonna throw some product in this thing, and
You're gonna let it go.
for anybody who did not believe me, that's not like you. That's my hair. It's curly as hell. Like
Who
that's-
didn't believe you?
It's weird how those television folks have a thing about,
didn't
you know,
believe
their
you.
post
Did
game.
people think you were wearing a
baseball
wig?
cap.
Well, no, but like they're like, oh, you did like you're doing something to your hair like, to make it that curly. I'm like, no, dude, I just have these luscious curls.
Okay.
They just come out. All right. So
You're really into it.
it's a thing. But I told my wife, like, look, I'm gonna do my hair, and it's gonna look so bad, and they're gonna like put the hat back on, and people need to stop trolling me. I'm sitting there telling everybody it
No, they
looks
don't.
terrible.
No, they don't.
I'm sitting there telling everybody it looks terrible, and everyone last night is like, no, love it, keep it. I'm just sitting there going, oh God, this is one of my all-time backfires.
Yeah, see, Dusty, you weren't here in the building yesterday, so you could not see how many times Danny pulled the old the trying to do the
Head toss.
Yes, the head toss, only for our YouTube watchers.
Yeah.
The head toss.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
I had like 3 curls that like kept falling down. I had to do more product
Okay.
before I went to the building.
I feel like Colin with his Greg Cosell
Yeah.
segment every week. Now watch this video
but
on
yeah,
the
no,
radio.
Danny owns the club. Rust is spinning the white snake. Dusty's the regular on the rails of the main stage. That from P1 Rufio. No, you're not singing. It's not strippy-oki.
No?
It's
Who says I'm not?
I feel
you're
this
playing
is,
the tunes.
I feel like this is more like a varsity blues situation.
Another
I may
one
or may
here.
not hire a teacher.
Yeah, it threw me for a major loop on the Vancouver Ford text line. I never watched your guys' show on YouTube. Seen Danny for the first time last night. Not what I pictured. Not in a bad way, though.
Yeah, look,
Not a bad way, though. Not a bad
for the
way.
longest time,
Right,
you
not
know,
in a bad way.
when I did the podcast and did radio appearances and was writing for years, when I first started doing TV, I got a lot of, that's what you look like? It's like, I'm keenly aware that my voice does not match me. Like, that is not a thing that everybody thinks I'm smaller. And it's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, see, I always kind of get yep, that's about right.
Yeah. Back in the day, I like when I would run into people on the street, if they'd hear my voice. Have you ever had that happen, where you've been talking and somebody hears your voice and they're like, "Oh, are you?"
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird thing, right?
Yeah, it
And, like-
happens when you work on radio and people really don't see you.
Yeah,
that much.
but it's like the
Yeah.
first couple times that happened, I got a lot of "you don't look anything like I expected you to look."
yeah.
It's an interesting thing.
It's them's
because
the games.
You picture something in your head and you go, "Oh,
oh,
okay."
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was
Danny's out there wrecking dreams of everybody. You know,
Yeah, I may or may not
imagination killer, Danny Murray.
Right. may or may not have gone to the official Kenny Powers website and found the Merman jersey.
Ooh, sweet. Yeah, you should do that for Halloween next week.
I think
it's a week away.
I think I might cop that.
It's a week away.
It's either that or I go. It's either that or I'm busting out Grumpy Bear,
Yeah.
the Care Bear.
Okay. Well, that also works for you.
I
You
figure
know,
those are-
you could be either one of those.
or I could be Grumpy Kenny Powers.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get this show on the road. Blazers played last night. That wasn't good.
What I mean,
I'll give us.
what did we expect?
You know what? I may have a differing opinion. And I may be on the more optimistic side than you. How about
considering the comments you had when we walked in the door, I think so.
Yeah, mine is a little bit different.
A little rosier.
But
it's not rosy,
yeah,
just rosier.
It's still... It
still has thorns.
Oh, boy. Boy, does it. Boy, does it. We saw what the Blazers have in store for us this year. Giddy up, Buttercup. Also, we got a lot of NFL, college football. We got our picks this week for the week. I think last week, collectively, the show went 10-2.
Indeed, we did
10-2 last week.
I was a 3-1.
I was 3-1 as well.
A 4-0. I had a 4-0 week. I'm 15-1 in my last 4 weeks, which assures everybody to fade Dusty this week.
If I would just quit trying to pick Jaguars games, I'd have an even better record on the season.
Look, I'm 15-1 over the last 4 weeks and 20-8 overall. So it was a rough start.
Yeah,
I think
it was a rough start with a furious finish.
I think on the season I'm 3-4 on my Jaguars picks.
Which means
not good.
If you flip that, if you're 4-3, you're winning.
I mean, you are a Jags fan, so this fits your season that you're going with, though.
Yeah, well,
I mean, everything is
if
upside
it
down.
fit the season, I would be like 1-6.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right, we also have Penn State doing Penn Statey things. Got some college football as well, as the Big Ten race is really heating up, as is the college football playoff race. This is a crazy year. What a great year for the 12-team playoff.
It's absolutely perfect, and I can't wait. I hope that in the very first year, without getting too sportsy here, that we get a metric crap ton of upsets.
Yeah.
Just to be like, why didn't we do this? No, I'm talking about in the playoff.
Oh, gotcha.
I am hoping that what we get actually from here on out in the world of college football is a lot of chalk for the regular season.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking just the playoff.
The hell that the playoff committee will be in if we get a lot of chalk and we have all of these one-loss teams, or we have, 2-loss teams that have some pretty good wins and their losses are only to really good teams that you're going to be putting in anyways. Sign me up for that hell they're going to be in. Because
I'm 100% there with you, so where it's difficult, but I want upsets.
I dare you.
Just to get there.
I dare the College Football Playoff Committee to try and choose between an undefeated Army or Navy and a one-loss Boise State team where their only loss is potentially to the number 1 team in the country by 3 points on the road.
In a game they had a chance to win.
Yeah. Like, I dare you to make that tough choice. And in doing so, you leave out a 2-loss SEC team.
Which
you
is
won't
going
see the South burn.
Which is going to be Alabama.
Yeah, and that would be like the only time that you would have like the South be like, screw the troops.
Now,
like it would be the wildest thing ever.
Not to get too sportsy in these last couple minutes of this first non-sportsy segment here, have we figured out yet the top 4 seeds? It's not just the Power 4 winners; it's the top 4
conference
champions.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
So we could have a group of 5 in there
as a top
correct?
4 seed. Yeah, but I mean, if you get the chalk the rest of the way, that would mean you have an unbeaten from the Big 12. You would have an unbeaten from the ACC, and so they're going to be top 4. Yeah, they would be top 4.
Well, if the ACC
it would take a
got knocked
miracle
down a peg, I'd be okay with that.
It would take a miracle for a non-Power 4 team to be a top 4 seed.
If Boise State boat races UNLV this weekend and then just absolutely smacks the living hell out of everyone left on their schedule, and you get Clemson losing, then
Miami would have to lose.
I'm sorry, Miami.
Yeah, Miami with the 1 loss.
Then maybe I can squint.
I'm sure Mario will figure that out.
Yeah,
maybe I could squint and see it. I think that's the only path, though. I'm talking they just got to. Ashton Genty has to Genty so hard.
You have 5 weeks left. And Boise State, by the way, on a bye week, fell 2 spots.
just
in the AP poll, and the playoff committee is completely different than the AP or the coaches poll. But
so dumb.
If you take that, they have to make up at a minimum. They'd have to make up 8 spots in the polls. That'd be really hard.
I mean,
to do.
they need to. As I'm saying, they need to boat race UNLV this
Yeah.
weekend, and then just kick the crap out of everybody the rest of the way.
All right,
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
No, No, it really isn't.
And Miami's been playing with fire all season.
Yeah.
So
And look, a Cristobal game could happen, and I want to give Miami credit because they have avoided the Cristobal stub your toe in a game you have no business losing, like Arizona State, right?
They found a way to win everything.
We're only halfway there.
They got Florida State this week. They have Duke. That Duke game is going to be tougher than people think. Syracuse plays tonight. At the end of the year, Miami goes to the Carrier Dome,
which is always a weird place to play.
But right now, Syracuse is one lost team.
Here, you know what? By saying that,
and Pitt undefeated.
You put something in my head.
Pitt.
Think about all of the S that Miami has been up against and undefeated. They are the anti-USC this season, where they have put themselves in very stupid positions that they should not be in.
Yeah.
And yet they have managed to claw out of every single one of them.
Yeah. Mario Cristobal is a good coach.
You have to give Cristobal credit for not falling prey to that trap.
Think of those losses, though, that Cristobal has attached to him at Oregon, right? It was, or last year, not kneeling, not taking a knee. It's game management at the end of a game where it's like, oh boy. And
is Lincoln Riley learning that this year?
Ooh, boy. I don't know. From hearing Lincoln Riley talk, I don't think so.
Because he doesn't seem to have an answer.
Well, no, he's saying he doesn't have an answer. He literally is saying he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, I mean, Miami should have had a loss against Cal, but Cal called very hard.
And 3 games.
And
Virginia
even this
Tech
morning,
in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, where they ruled it an incompletion, and then they reviewed it and maybe looked like a completion. We didn't know. I still think it was incomplete.
Yeah.
Louisville this past week almost stubbed their toe, and then they get Florida State this week, which can't get out of their own way.
Florida State stubs their own toe.
But if Florida State were to get out of their way in one game,
it'd be this one.
It'd be this one.
Yeah.
It'd be this one.
And even listening to my favorite morning show on my way in, Dirt and Sprague this morning, talking about how Cal 3-4 on the season, but basically should be undefeated.
Huh?
Somehow. No, well, and they gave Florida State their only win.
Yeah, they did. They did. But I think what they're saying is Cal has a 5-point loss to Florida State, a 1-point loss to Miami, a 2-point loss to Pitt, a 1-point loss to NC State.
Cal shot themselves in the foot 4 times.
Yes, they have. Yes, tough out. They got the Beavs this week. And that's a team that
10-point favorites, I think, over the Beavs.
I don't know.
Are Cal?
They've got a plus 37 point differential. Cal does. Plus 37.
And they're 3-4.
Are 0-4 in ACC play.
Make it make sense.
0-4 in ACC play. Plus 37 overall, and they are 0-4 with a minus 9 point differential in conference play.
So weird.
That is weird. All right. Well, we're already sportsing. So I do have something on the dock today that is kind of tangentially sports related.
Oh?
Yeah. Have you seen the greatest snack food in the NFL?
No.
Mm-hmm. Most popular snack food in the NFL.
Is it Marshawn Lynch's favorite?
No, it is not.
No?
No, it is not. But it opened up a whole can of worms for me. I was battling my own brain. So we'll talk about that today. Where we got to start, though, how about that hometown team? Huh?
Which one?
Oh. Don't even get me started.
Wow, what did the Vikings do?
All right.
Wow.
The Blazers lose by 35.
Hey.
Not what we wanted to see. Danny Dusty on the Fan. The Portland Trailblazers got thumped last night.
Mollywopped?
Yep. The final score, 139-104 in the opener. First of all, what we did not want to see at any point was the Blazers getting beat by 35 points, right? That was kind of our marker, right? Keep games tighter.
Mm-hmm.
Especially against the upper echelon teams. Like last year was like the 50-point losses, the 40-point losses, 35-point losses where you're just like, oh my gosh, this can't be it. And I think the most discouraging thing about the way the Blazers came out of the gate was you open it with a 35-point loss against a team that I don't think is an upper echelon team in the West. Like the Golden State Warriors are good.
Yes.
But they are not an elite team in the
They're like a
West.
46-win team.
And they're not the Warriors that we're used to.
No, but they're going to be feisty, and Buddy Hield is going to be a pretty decent Klay Thompson substitute. What I thought last night was the Blazers weren't really able to be as impactful with their size as they wanted to be. You had a lot of guards torturing the Blazers last night for the Warriors. Chauncey Billups in the postgame said, the line that's getting a lot of traction is not a single player played well. And I think to that extent, yes, I think it's right. But he also has had a line that he said, I think for the first time in a month, we came out and we didn't have the energy and we're not prepared and we didn't have the focus. He goes, to be honest, all preseason and all through camp, I think we've had it. And if you just rewind to Friday against the Utah Jazz, we had people talking about how this team might actually win 40 games. Like people like, so the focus and the dedication and the effort and the intensity and hustle, it didn't just disappear from Friday until Wednesday.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening, I think, is, and you can say this is coaching, you can say whatever you want it, but DeAndre Ayton, Denny Avdia, Jeremy Grant, basically everyone said that they had jitters and they were pressing. And which is kind of weird.
Yeah. But especially from your vets to say that. Yeah. As bad as that was, 139-104, and you lose. I thought and this is what I said walking in today, as you and I were walking in from the parking lot, is that I will give the Trailblazers, I thought they played decent for 2 1/3 of a quarter. And I went back and as I was thinking about it, like it was at about that 7:40 mark of the third quarter. I looked and I was like, they're only down 10. And it was the things that we were hoping to see, the effort wise, the pushing a little bit more of the tempo, active hands. I mean, I went back and I looked at it. At the 7, and I went back to 7:34 remaining in the third quarter, okay? The Blazers were losing 70-60 while shooting 4 of 19 from 3, which against the Golden State Warriors, I don't care if Klay Thompson's there. I don't care if this is the, light years Warriors that were winning championships and elite. You're still not going to be competitive against a team that, the Golden State Warriors especially, shooting 4 of 19 from 3. As long as Steph Curry can shoot the basketball, he is not, you can't shoot that poorly from beyond the arc. Yet, there was a 10-point game, and the thing that I liked about the way the Blazers were playing is that in that they had 7 steals to that point. They were winning the turnover battle 12-8, and you're going, okay, it felt like the Blazers for the first time watching them, they actually were playing like Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum were no longer on the team. I felt like all last year they were still playing like Dame and CJ were there, and it was like
stylistically, it did not. Yeah, no,
and this is not that team.
No,
and it felt like that, and then the wheels fell off at that point. 7.5 to go in the third quarter. The wheels fell off, and the Warriors absolutely thumped them.
Let's start at the top and then kind of work our way through into the game. This is kind of I told you so. This in the general sense. The Blazers starting lineup is going to be competitive. It's not great, but it's going to be competitive. Where the drop-off is going to occur is when those guys leave the floor on general nights. Now, Ant, Jeremy, D.A., they were subpar last night. And if two of those three aren't good to great, you're gonna struggle in games.
Yep.
But if they all struggle, you're gonna have that. Because everyone's like, well, Scoot needs to play more, and Two needs to play more, and Robert needs to play more, and Donovan needs to play more. I'm like, then you will lose by 60. I love those guys.
Scoot was tough to watch in the opener last night.
He had one spurt where I thought he had a plan and he was effective. The rest of the game, it was pretty bad. But the Blazers, this isn't a Warriors game situation. This is going to be a season-long thing. I wrote about this last night when I got home. The Blazers have a math problem, and it is very simple. They only have one guy on the entire team who can consistently generate his own shot at every single level. That is Anthony Simons. He is the only one on the team who can consistently generate his shot on every single level.
No doubt. And when he's shooting 2 of 7 from beyond the arc, you're in hell.
And when he's only taking 12 shots, you're in hell. Ant needs to take at minimum 18 shots a night.
Yeah.
Because he's going to set the table for everybody else. His gravity, his ability to space the floor, his threat at all three levels is the domino that pushes everything else forward, right? So he's rusty. He's coming out of the preseason with one game in the ankle. And I talked to him after the game. I asked how he was doing. He said he's fine. And I think he'll be fine, and it'll take him a week to kind of round into form. It doesn't excuse the performance last night. He knows he didn't play well. Jeremy, if the ball goes in, it looks different. All of this stuff said, in that first quarter and a half, there were a couple things that legitimately stood out to me as this is different.
Yeah.
I thought they played with pace and purpose in the first quarter and a half. They were getting into their sets. When I go back and watch the film today, I'm very interested to see how many shots or how many times they got into stuff with 18 or more seconds still on the shot clock. Like they got down the floor and got into it and got shots up quick.
And it's not pace from beyond the arc. Like I was texting my buddy last night about as we were watching the game, and it was like this team is going to be really good from 18 feet and in.
They got downhill, and Denny's a big part of that. DeAndre Ayton didn't have a great box score night at the end of the night, but you know what he did? He played at the rim or at the three-point line the majority of the game. He took 2 middies last night, and he didn't take his first one until the third quarter. Beyond that, he attacked with the ball in his hands. Like, DA is a guy that historically his assist rate, like needing to be set up, is one of the highest in the league, which is pretty typical for big men. Not many bigs can create on their own. But
everybody watches Jokic and Wemby and are like, be that guy.
Yeah, be that guy. Nobody else can do that. There's like 4 guys in the whole league that can create their own shot as a big. But DA attacked the closeout, threw down a dunk. He did a post up where he literally put the ball on the floor multiple times and spun in and drove. And then he took corner threes. I was like,
early in the third quarter, there was a moment where he slid from the near block and he got a steal underneath the basket. It was like, okay, they're actually moving. There were some bright spots.
Yeah. No, but again, these were like little cherries that you're picking. They weren't like overarching stories from the night.
Those are the things that this year with 81 games left,
what you have to enjoy.
You're going to have to look for. The most discouraging part is this one, like from the Vancouver Ford text line. I don't want a Blazer team winning a single game, but I don't want to see 82 blowouts. I want to see effort. I want to see the next 81 games lost by 1 point in the last minute. I want them to out-effort every team and lose every game. Now, that was the most discouraging part. Is because when the wheels fell off, it turned into an absolute dumpster fire. And that right there, in game 1, that's why it's the most discouraging thing, is because it's game 1. If that continues to happen, that's how you become the Washington Wizards.
Yes.
That's how you become the Detroit Pistons. That's where your losing culture just says, nope, done, we're out. And that is the worst thing that you can have as a fan base.
And the thing that I went back to this is last year, even after the 50 and 60-point losses, they still played hard for Chauncey. And the effort was still there. And I think through the preseason, it has been there. What's going to remain to be seen is if this is a one-off. But if this is a thing where you get 25 games into the season and you're having multiple effort nights, Chauncey Billups will not make it through the season.
Out of the first 31 games, how many are against Western Conference teams?
28.
Oh,
and they open the season with 5 and 7 nights. Like you're going to get multiple opportunities to see this team. They could very, very easily play the Pelicans. They play them twice, Friday and Sunday. Win one of those games right out of the chute and look relatively decent. You go, oh, it's like,
well, especially with DeJounte Murray broke his hand last night.
Trey Murphy's still dealing with a hamstring.
Yeah.
So, but it was a very discouraging night outside of the first quarter. It's interesting how Donovan Clingan and Zach Edey for the Grizzlies. Did you see Edey? He fouled out.
I did see that he did foul out.
Yeah.
That's.
I wonder if the Blazers truly missed out by not drafting him. Same with like Dalton Connect. That's like, the one game overreactions over rookies is one of my favorite things. But
yeah.
I thought Donovan looked very, very, very similar to how he did in the preseason and how he did in Summer League, in the sense of his first appearance in Summer League, his first appearance in the preseason, his first appearance in the regular season. He's got golden retriever energy. He's a little too amped, and you see him get gassed. Let's see what it looks like the rest of the season. Because in Summer League, in the preseason, after he got that out of the way, he looked so much more confident, so much more comfortable. He's still just young. But, yeah, I wasn't surprised by what I saw from him last night, just from what we've seen from him already, and I think he'll be fine.
I can handle losing. That's what this team is going to do a lot of. I do not want, it is the 35-point loss to a team that will be a good, not great team. They'll be the back-end playoff team in the West. I do not like to see a 35-point loss out of the gate. That was the discouraging part. There were the little glimmers, and that's what we're going to be watching all year long.
And it was few and far between. And look,
yeah,
the math problem is the bigger issue, I think, for this team.
Can't shoot.
It's boiled down to that game. It was an exaggeration because it was the Warriors. But if you're only hitting 8 threes and your opponent is hitting 20, okay, think about what that is, a 36-point difference. You have to shoot 70+% from the paint and be plus 20 from the free throw line to compensate from that.
This text, Vancouver Ford text line, it looked like they had good energy last night. They just couldn't knock down shots. Get used to it.
I thought that was the case early in the game, and I thought that
just get used to it.
It was disheartening for them, and they didn't do well. And then the Warriors, because they're so veteran laden,
are they gonna all of a sudden magically become knockdown
shooters?
shooters?
So they have to find ways to manufacture points to stay in games, which comes from the energy, the hustle, and all the intensity stuff that goes with it.
All right, your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit them online, VancouverFord.com. Funny offshoot of this. People seem to be calling this the worst night in Portland sports history.
What?
Yeah, that is a real thing. Yeah. There are multiple people
going should we go back to game whatever of the Western Conference Finals?
We'll get to that after Rust with SportsCenter.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, Week 8 of the NFL begins tonight. The Vikings at the Rams on Thursday Night Football, 5:15 kick on Prime Video. The Minnesota Vikings 2.5-point road favorites. Only a 4-game slate tonight in the association. Your TNT doubleheader features Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs at the Mavericks for a 4:30 tip. Those Dallas Mavericks are 9-point favorites. And then followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder at Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. The Nuggets are 2-point favorites in that one. And there is actually top 25 action in college football tonight. Number 19 Pitt hosting Syracuse. 4:30 kick on ESPN. The undefeated Panthers are 5-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Auto accident,
have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
All right, the take that was going around social media last night. Blazers lose by 35 in their opener. The first of 82 games.
Yes.
In a season where the franchise has done everything to signal winning this year is not necessarily the most, not necessarily, is not the most important thing. And then on top of that, you had the Portland Timbers lose in the MLS wild card 5-0 to the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Which is like losing by 50 in basketball. That is getting absolutely stomped.
Yeah. It was like 3-0 at halftime, and then it was like 2 quickies in the second half.
3 minutes, yeah.
It was like
boom,
over. Yikes. So they lose 5-0, and people are like, this is the worst sports day in Portland history. I can think of a few more.
I mean, just in basketball alone, it's...
Yeah.
God, there's so many.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Well, Western Conference Finals, anybody?
I mean, being up double digits in the fourth quarter, knowing that if you win this game, you're going to win an NBA title. The Lakers and Blazers were the two best teams in the world at that point.
Yeah.
Whoever won that was going to win a title.
Can I point you towards the Michael Jordan shrug game, too, where people thought, like, hey, Blazers might have a chance. Nope. They do not have a chance here. How about losing an NBA Finals? Pick one. Detroit or Chicago. You can pick one. Those are exponentially worse.
No.
The worst sports day was not the Blazers losing 1 of 82 and the Timbers losing in the wild card
and they were
of the MLS.
Ninth seed? It was 8-9 matchup.
Yeah, it was an 8-9 matchup. Yeah. But 5-0 is like, okay.
I mean, at least they ended it mercifully. Like there's zero hope. It's snuffed that out. I think I saw Suk was at the game last night, right?
Yeah, and that's a great point. Is that a crippling close loss? I will take that any day, or I will take a blowout any day over a crippling close loss.
Let me tune out and just drink and enjoy and do whatever. Like and vibe.
Yeah,
just vibe.
Yeah.
Do not snatch my soul at the last second.
Yeah.
Do not give me hope and then rip it out of my hands.
I
hate that.
I will hear a Timbers fan going, though, that is one of our most crippling losses. Totally understand that. Get it. 100%. Because you make the playoffs and then that is a 5-0 decision. No, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. But to say it's the worst day in Portland sports history, no, I'm not going to go that far. Not by any stretch. Because it was 1 of 82 for Portland. In a season where they're not, like, the goal is to lose a bunch of games, but when you lose, again, the most discouraging part is the 35-point loss. That's brutal.
Yeah, no, nobody wants that.
No.
Kidding me?
No, come on. It's game 1.
Yeah.
Game 1. That was quite the take-quake we saw on social media last night, though. Worst day in Portland sports history.
And it was all over the place. Like multiple people like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll say that I would put even like the Portland Winterhawks losing in like the Memorial Cup final.
Yeah.
Like I will take that over a wild card loss in 1 of 82. Come on.
Yeah. There's no real stakes.
Come on. We know misery better than that, Portland. And if that is our worst night, boy, we've got a really good sports thing going here.
Right?
Just look at the city of Philadelphia lately. Look at the state of Minnesota. Look at Atlanta, right? Where they had the best pitching staff in the history of baseball and got 1 World Series out of it. Okay? The Falcons blew a 28-3 Super Bowl lead. I would say that would be far more crippling than what the city of Portland had.
John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Steve Avery. I remember those Bravos team because thanks to TBS.
They were really good.
Yeah.
They were really damn good. And they had David Justice, Kenny Lofton, the Crime Dog.
Oh, it was, who was it? It was Lonnie something that came around.
Lonnie Baxter.
Yeah, sure. I'll take your word for it. But they came around third and scored like a winning run. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, TBS.
Superstation. All right. And Bobby Cox is the manager. Let's go. Let's go.
Superstation TBS.
Oh, man. All right. Well, there we go.
There you go.
Not the worst sports day. We'll be there. Ooh, Buffalo. How about Buffalo on the Vancouver Ford text line? 4 straight Super Bowl losses? Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo. Way
Yeah,
worse.
way
They got
worse.
4 days way over.
Well, and it was because of 2 different kickers missing field goals, right? Because you had
Norwood.
Norwood and Steve Christie. I want to say
No. Doug Christie.
Doug Christie.
I'm just going. Anybody that you are saying, I'm just going with basketball players.
Robert Horry!
I did that with Lonnie Baxter. I'm going to do it with Doug Christie. Anybody else you'd like to name, and I'll just find a basketball player with a similar name.
Robert Pack.
All right. Well, glad we could close that loophole. Are you fighting with somebody on the internet right now?
I am.
You look very distracted, Danny.
I am.
You're
No,
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, listen, he can't be because he's not sitting on the crapper.
No,
Are you pooping your pants right now?
maybe.
Because you look like you're arguing with somebody on the internet.
Does he
I
poop at potties?
All right. Okay. Well, let's snap you out of this.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It's night one. It's night one, and I'm already.
Apparently,
I'm
do I need to
already.
go look
I'm
at the
al-
text line.
I'm already dealing with people. Just there's the most.
I don't even know who
insane-
he's not. It's not on the text line. It's
It's in the.
Oh, so it's a Twitter fight.
It's the YouTube chat.
Is it?
It's the
Oh,
YouTube
see,
chat.
okay, well, for some reason, the YouTube chats aren't showing up on our streaming computer in here. It's all
He's
blank.
arguing on the internet. All right. Okay.
Game one, and already people are
Okay.
showing their ass.
It's okay. Take a deep breath.
I can't.
Take a deep breath. All right. A complete surprise next on the fan.
Hello, sports fan.
All right. You done arguing? Are you? Internet arguing never stops with Danny. Let's go. Got a fish on. Fish on. Reel 'em in. All right. Jameson Williams has responded. Now, the Detroit Lions wide receiver, we talked about this earlier in the week.
Yeah.
He was suspended for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing substances.
Mm-hmm.
He was caught completely by surprise.
I mean, they always are.
Wow. The news came as a complete surprise, and I'm still trying to understand, said Woods. Or Williams. Woods. Here's his full statement. This week, I was notified by the NFL that I've been suspended for a violation of the performance-enhancing substances policy. The news came as a complete surprise, and I'm still trying to understand. I don't take supplements or vitamins, and I am overly cautious about even taking over-the-counter medicine. At no time have I ever taken something in an attempt to cheat or look for an unfair advantage.
Maybe he should have.
I understand that. Imagine how good he'd be if he did. I understand that I'm responsible for everything that goes into my body, and I have to take accountability in this instance. I have nothing but love and respect for this game, my teammates, coaches, the Lions, organization, and the city of Detroit. It is disappointing to accept this suspension, and it will hurt for me to be away from the team as they prepare for this week. So out of respect for my teammates, this will be the last time I address this matter. Ooh, that's a good one. Hey, that's a good one.
Hey, maybe,
out of respect for his teammates, he's not going to address this any further.
Look, I don't believe he wrote a single word of that.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah.
For once, I want one of these guys who gets popped for PEDs to be like, yeah, I took it.
Yeah, I did it.
But just be like, my bad. This is an incredibly competitive field and incredibly competitive landscape, and I am doing everything I can to be the best possible version of myself, and that includes pushing the boundaries of what you should and shouldn't take according to league rules, and I violated that, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to learn more about this because we always do find out.
Yeah, and I love that he's like, I'm accepting this suspension because he knows he's not even... He has zero chance of appealing it because he tested positive, very likely, for a no BS banned substance, or what I'm now almost more certain of, there's going to be a masking agent.
Well, I saw that in that exact kind of idea and thought. So Jameson Williams, I guess some people were trying to parse through the verbiage of his suspension in the performance enhancing substances as opposed to drugs.
Yes.
So I don't know if there is a difference in the verbiage there, but the way Schefter, like he would go over the top to correct people, like like on the panel shows and all that, to say substances instead of drugs. I wonder what he got popped for, because there's a lot of things.
Oh,
the list is really long.
Dumb long.
Yeah. Like you can't take Viagra
without a prescription.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But apparently there is a difference between PED and PES. So I don't know. We'll find out. He does not look like a anabolic steroid user, though.
No. When you actually pull up the list, I mean, it is a list.
How about this, though? Do you know that if you do, and he says he doesn't even take like vitamins or supplements or anything like that. Do you know that there's an app that all the NFL players have? NBA players probably have it too.
Scan the barcode.
No, you scan the label, and the label will go and it takes you into whether or not it's acceptable to purchase it or not. And guys have actually gotten off, like,
saved them from
like being like, no, hey,
I scanned it.
I scanned this.
You can see it,
and they're like, well, too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you go to the banned substance list, it's broken out from all of the different things, and this is on the performance enhancing side. Yes, it has the anabolic agents where you get like your andro and your test and your stuff like that. then you have your protein and peptide hormones, but you get down further into part 2, masking agents.
Yeah.
And it's a big old long list. Then you get through stimulants, and then you get through the doping methods, which like also counts
I wonder if like it was like he
blood
tested,
doping,
like Adderall.
Oh yeah, stimulants.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Dang. All right. Well, this is the 1/1000th version of. I'm completely caught off guard by this. But I do like the respect my teammates. Don't ask me about this anymore.
That's great. That's not quite bringing your kids up to the press conference shielding, but it's pretty good. Did you know Sudafed is a banned substance?
Really?
Yeah, Sudafed is a banned substance.
Well, they do make meth out of it.
The pseudoephedrine that is in Sudafed which I believe is the active ingredient. That's what is the banned substance. That's I believe it's under the stimulants.
All right.
It's under stimulants, yeah.
All right. Okay. So there we go. Jameson Williams, very sorry. Very surprised. Whoever could have seen this coming.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Do we want to have like a little betting grid on what it ends up being? Masking agent, stimulant.
I think it was stimulant.
You think stimulant?
I'm going to go stimulant.
I'm going masking agent.
All right. Okay. All right. Get your vote in on the Vancouver 4 text line. 503-864-6326. All right, let's get to hour number 2. The Big Ten. The Big Ten. The race is getting tight. What's it going to look like down the stretch? This is actually a very big weekend in that regard. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on the Fan, Week 8 of the NFL begins tonight. The Vikings at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. That's a 5:15 kick on Prime Video. The Vikings are 2.5-point road favorites. Only a 4-game slate this evening in the association. Your TNT doubleheader, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs at Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. That's a 4:30 tip. Dallas are 9-point favorites, and then followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder at the Nuggets with Nikola Jokic. Denver, 2-point favorites in that one. And there is actually some top 25 action on this Thursday night in college football. Number 19 Pitt hosting Syracuse, 4:30 kick on ESPN. The undefeated Panthers are 5-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The original home of the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays 9 to noon, 1080 The Fan. This is Danny and Dusty.
What in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
With Danny Meringue and Dusty, the Fan Man Hera.
What ruckus? I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app.
Describe the ruckus, sir.
And 1080.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
The Fan.
Hour number 2, Danny and Dusty with you on this Thursday afternoon. An hour from now, we'll have our picks show collectively. Last weekend went a very sultry 10-2.
And all
picks.
3 records are looking pretty sterling.
Yeah, they are. They're not too shabby.
Mm-hmm.
You win some, you lose some. The betting gods are never kind. All right, so let's not get over our skis a little too quick. All right, we'll have that. We have our worst day on the web coming up. The NFL's most popular snack, that also will be discussed today. But where we start hour number 2 is, what's this Big Ten race going to look like as we come down the stretch? 5 or 6 games, depending on the school, remaining on the regular season slate for the Big Ten. I think the teams that still have 6 games remaining, I think there's only 2 of them, Ohio State and Penn State. Both of those schools have only played 6 games. Everybody else has played 7 across the Big Ten. And the Big Ten race is pretty tight down the stretch. 3 unbeaten teams: Oregon, Penn State, Indiana. 3 teams only have 1 loss in conference play. They are Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio State. And right now, those 6 teams seem to be the ones that are vying for contention for the 2 spots in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game. And I think with the way that everybody looks at it, you make it to Indianapolis that first weekend of December, you're going to be going to the college football playoff. And that is, if you're a fan of any of these teams, if you're Oregon or Ohio State, look, you are eyeing, if you stay perfect, no matter what, you guys are looking at the winner of that Big Ten championship game is a top 4 seed. Winner of the Big Ten will be a top 4 seed no matter what.
Yeah.
But this race is going to get even tighter, and this could be like an elimination week this weekend in the Big Ten.
Which is kind of weird, but also kind of what you, I think, should anticipate in a conference that has this many teams that are kind of vying for that position.
So we mentioned like the 6 teams that are all with no losses or 1 loss in conference play right now. You have 4 of them playing against each other this weekend. Illinois heads to Oregon Saturday, 12:30 kick. You have Penn State going to Wisconsin. And look, I'm not going to say that you can't make it with 2 losses. It's going to be really damn hard when you look at the schedules remaining. If Penn State loses to Wisconsin, then you have that logjam of 1-loss teams gets even more hairy. And this is the beauty of this college football season right now, is look at Penn State's schedule remaining. They got Wisconsin this week. They got Ohio State on the 2nd. So Penn State back-to-back weeks could be in eliminator-type scenarios for that Big Ten championship game. And they have not been playing great football throughout the course of the year.
No, I mean, you take a look at the I think the Big Ten, and to an extent the SEC, they protect some of their brands. But I do think the Big Ten has done a relatively decent job of giving their higher end programs a little bit of runway with their scheduling, and then basically saying, you better figure it out in the final 4 weeks.
Yeah, Ohio State, they've got...
I said, for the most part.
Yeah, Ohio State had Oregon smack dab in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got Penn State in that kind of the middle end of the middle third where you get Oregon and Penn State with the bye week kind of wedged in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody was thinking that Indiana game right before they play Michigan was going to be
that important,
a game of importance. But I think that's the fun part about all of this is over the next handful of weeks, we're going to find out what Indiana's made of.
Mm-hmm.
We really will find out what Indiana's made of. Last week we thought we were going to, and they passed that with flying colors. The way they beat the absolute hell out of Nebraska, that was surprising. Like, Nebraska is not a national title contender.
No, but
they're not a Big
team.
Ten contender. 56-7. This is what Indiana has been doing to everyone.
Have you looked at what Indiana's numbers are this year? Points for, points against. They've got in conference points for 181, points against 72.
I don't get it. I don't get why they are ranked 13.
They should be top 10 pretty handily. They're not one dimensional. They've got a quarterback. They've got a running game. They've got a defense. Like, they are good in all three phases of the game. And I mean, they're going to be without Rourke for a week or two with the thumb surgery. And most people don't think they're going to miss a beat, which is kind of like, think about that. The Indiana Hoosiers are going to be without the most important position on the field, and everybody's totally fine with it.
Yeah, that seems like an oversight. It kind of does.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's how confident and comfortable they are.
Yeah.
The Indiana Hoosiers on the football field.
The game of football.
That's such an insane, like, that sounds like a Mad Lib.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Like, if it's the Indiana Hoosiers in basketball and you're like, okay, you know, they've got dudes.
All right.
Mackenzie Mbako not being out there for a week. Okay, cool. Like, they'll find a way. But this is the football team. This is not a program that is built on the backs of successful football lineage.
Okay, here is my question.
Go on.
With Indiana, now I do believe with the way that they're beating teams, like, you can only play the schedule that's in front of you, right?
Yes.
But when you're beating the brakes off of teams left and right.
When you're beating everyone to death and then also taking the money out of their pockets and spitting on them, yeah.
All right, look at their schedule. You tell me, who's the best team Indiana's played?
Maybe scroll back. Nebraska?
Okay, the S&P rankings of ESPN, Nebraska is the 32nd best team in college football right now.
Okay, which it's not bad.
Okay, Northwestern is 73rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maryland is 52nd.
Mm-hmm. Those first four. FIU, Western.
Charlotte is 122nd.
UCLA
is 79th. Western Illinois won't be on here, and FIU might be one of the worst teams in football. Oh, hey, they're better than Charlotte. They're 117th. So that is why that perception, like, they don't have a top 30 win.
Yeah,
you know.
But the team that is closest in Nebraska at 32, my God, did they annihilate them?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. They're going to play Washington this weekend. And if they go in there and they just steamroll Washington, which I don't think is going to happen, but if they go in there and they just steamroll them, then the eyes start to go, oh.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, Ohio State is number 1 in those S&P rankings still, based off of...
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, going on the road, though, winning a close game or losing a close game on the road,
I would have thought
you don't get knocked as bad.
Tennessee, Georgia, or Texas would have been number 1.
No, Tennessee's 9th.
Really?
Texas is 2nd, Ole Miss 3rd, Georgia 4th, Oregon 5th, Penn State 6th, Alabama 7th, Notre Dame 8th, Tennessee 9, Miami 10.
I don't agree. I think everything in that group is fine except for Notre Dame.
And Alabama?
I mean, they've
lost 2 tight ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both on the road, right? Yeah.
I mean, in S&P Plus is intended to be predictive and kind of what they what they feel as the forward facing is what their metric is. But just think of that, and when you're thinking about Indiana, is that the teams that they have played, this will be the best team that they face this season. Washington, ranked 27th in the S&P.
There you go.
Okay, then they have Michigan State after that, and I think this is the fun part about where this season is kind of marching towards.
Sure,
is that Michigan State is 72nd in that. Then they have Michigan, which is still 24th in the S&P, and then Ohio State, and then Purdue.
Yeah, I mean,
they've got the best games on their schedule ahead of them.
Yeah, and if they handle as much business as they can, they'll be in. How insane would it be is if in the first year of the new Big Ten, Indiana ends up in the Big Ten title game?
That'd be great. I would love it. I'm an agent of chaos. I love chaos.
Kirk Cignetti would put his balls on the actual table.
I think he would.
I
think he would.
Drop them on there.
I wouldn't. I mean, I would be opposed to it, but I wouldn't be opposed.
They'd probably still be inside something, but
yeah.
And then he'd just say, "Google me."
Yeah, Google me, B. Penn State. Do we have any faith in Penn State?
They're a paper tiger. Drew Aller's not good.
Wisconsin, Ohio State, Washington. If they get past that, they got Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland.
I mean, they could get through it.
They got to get past Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State is the one.
Yeah.
But what does Penn State under James Franklin do in big games?
Well, big regular season games, they fold.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't think they have the quarterback to alleviate that pressure.
But they do have, of any of these teams in this race, strength of schedule-wise, Penn State has the easiest schedule of that group of Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Penn State. They've got the easiest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Not by much, though.
They have the 41st toughest schedule remaining in the country. Oregon has 38th. Yeah. Indiana is 37th. Ohio State 35th. Illinois is 32nd. And then Wisconsin has the 6th toughest schedule remaining in all of college football.
Goodness, they just play everyone?
Well, I mean, they have Wisconsin this week, and then in 2 weeks they have Oregon. They have Iowa wedged in between Nebraska and Minnesota at the end of the year. They got that's a gauntlet.
That's a pretty tough schedule.
That is a gauntlet to roll through. It's nothing compared to Florida.
Yeah, no, that next four for Florida is disgusting.
Florida, if you're wondering, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss.
That's so gross. That's such a tremendous gap between them and everyone else.
Kicked
as far as
in the junk.
I mean, you want to talk about mercy killing. I mean, goodness gracious.
And they're going to be like, "Oh, fire Billy Napier."
It's like there's no coach in the country you put Georgia in that schedule. They're struggling. That's
100%.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah. That is the toughest schedule. And this was heading into the year. Everybody said that about Florida. It's like Florida has the toughest schedule in all of college football. Because remember, they opened the season with Miami. On that schedule, they had Texas A&M as well, which they lost 33-20 to Texas A&M. And Texas A&M is now ranked 14th in the country with one loss, and that was the opener to Notre Dame. They had Central Florida on the schedule, which beginning of the year was one of those fringe ranked teams. Kentucky, which we all thought was going to be far better. They beat Kentucky.
Yeah. Remember, Kentucky played Georgia to the final possession.
And they've already played Tennessee. Oh. So everybody, like heading into the year, we were all like, damn.
Yeah.
That is a gauntlet.
I mean, that's everyone ganging up on Florida and be like,
it's
have fun.
Getting even worse at the end. So you talk about protecting your brands. The SEC knows who to protect and who to throw to the Wolves.
And
they threw Billy Napier to the Wolves.
To throw them to the Wolves. That matters.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
Hey, money's guaranteed.
Big weekend in the Big Ten this weekend, though. You have 6 teams that are undefeated in conference play or have one loss. 4 of them play against each other this weekend. Illinois at Oregon, which I've been telling people since the schedule came out, Illinois is a tough, scrappy team. Oregon will have a talent advantage. They'll be physical. They'll be well coached. And here we are, number 1 versus number 20. That's going to be a hell of a football game on Saturday. Penn State goes to Wisconsin. if either Illinois or Wisconsin lose those games, that's essentially an eliminator in that Big Ten title race. That's the margin for error that these schools are working with. All right. I've delayed it long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get this.
Oh.
The most popular snack in the NFL.
Oh.
It is elite.
Oh.
But what is the elite snack that you think of that you're ashamed, kind of, that you think it is that good? Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor.
YouTube crowd, you can look up to Joey right here. He's leaving the room on the YouTube. He's actually right. That's his butt you see on my camera right now.
Yeah.
Joey just NASCAR pit crewed my mic.
He did, dude.
Like he
did.
That was Russ is like, we've got 10 seconds till we're back. Russ was like, or Joey's like, bam, got a brand new mic on.
Yeah, he NASCAR'd the S out of that.
Yeah, he did.
You
want
reward?
We are rewarding him with
take
pizza.
some pizza, Joey.
We are rewarding him with pizza.
Thank you, Rufio.
All right. The most popular snack in the NFL is not this delicious Bellagio's pizza, which we have right here.
Yes, which brings you the very best player of the game every week.
That's right. It is not that. This comes to us from Sam Kavoris, who is a columnist, a reporter, journalist, information, opinion, sports, etc. Oh, he's a speaker, singer, and a musician, according to his Twitter.
How far do you have to go before you get an etc. on the end?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. What else does he need to be in there? Is like information and opinion and sports? I don't know. I don't care, though, because he gave me this factoid.
I don't care.
He is a journalist. Funny, unknown, silly NFL stat, according to Sam. Uncrustables are the favorite snack at halftime of most NFL teams and post-practice snack during the week. League-wide, they eat at least 80,000 Uncrustables a year. The Jacksonville Jaguars rank third with about 315 a week. The Broncos are first at over 700 Uncrustables every week.
This is not surprising, considering the average age of the Trailblazers locker room is like 19. They are Uncrustables everywhere in that place.
Well, here's the thing about Uncrustables. High in protein, easy to eat.
Sugar.
Yep. And guys, they get a sugar bump is actually recommended by, as long as you're not just like mainlining it.
Yes.
Like most of the professional athletes do. I think that would surprise people how much sugar professional athletes eat.
Oh, good God. DK Metcalf is built like a Greek god, and all the guy does is eat candy.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch, candy.
Skittles, yeah.
DeAndre Ayton had a candy problem in Phoenix, allegedly. But they're high in protein, quick to eat, peanut butter, jelly, a little bread in there. Nice, easy snack. Everywhere you go, if like you go to, I know Oregon has Uncrustables everywhere. Yeah, like when they're on the road, it's
post game.
What they
it's
do.
Pretty regular. Or I'm sorry, pre-game. It's pretty regular.
At halftime too.
Yeah,
to get
it's
a little
bump. It's actually funny that you bring this up. We were talking about this when the team was up in Seattle because they were housing Uncrustables. I think it was Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham, Scoot, and a couple other guys were all having them before games, and I was like, I just don't get down with them. I'm not a big peanut butter guy. I'm not anti peanut butter. It's just not my jam.
Really?
Get it? But yeah, it's just,
or your jelly.
Yeah, it's just this is not my thing. Like, I'll occasionally have a Reese's, but even then, it's a frozen Reese's. I'll go with.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the Uncrustables are everywhere. Which the flip side is like the Blazers and like every other team, but they have either catering or they have a chef in the building, kind of a deal. So they get to go food for dinner, like, so the team makes sure, like, hey, here's what you're supposed to be eating. Like, they have it made for their diet, kind of a thing. And then the Warriors, hilarious since they played them last night. The Warriors are notorious for buying and catering like the best restaurant in town.
Post-game meals are different.
No, but I'm saying
that's way different than these are just like the snack.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
the Warriors, they may have some Uncrustables at halftime. They spend more money on post-game meals than any other team in the league.
All right,
and it's not particularly close, and it's great because you can pop your head in there and go, what's left over? Got some steaks in here? I'm mildly joking, but no, the Uncrustables are everywhere, and I feel like they missed our generation. When did Uncrustables like come out?
I was in college.
Was it? So we were a little bit older.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I never really went down that path. Like I tried one and I was like, good. It's not really.
No, they're really good though.
I
They
don't-
got a good ratio of the peanut butter to jelly in there.
You think it's-
Uncrustables are really good, but this got me to what are you ashamed as a snack food that you like the most? Because Uncrustables have got to be up there. They are up there.
Like what are some snack foods that you can be ashamed of?
Well, I don't know. Like, if you have kids, basically anything that they eat, you're just gonna take a little bit off the top. Like I really enjoy, like, and I don't know why I'm ashamed to admit this. The not good fruit roll-ups. You know, the ones that come in just like the generic fruit roll-ups
They're more fruit leather.
they're more waxy. No,
Oh,
the
the other
high-end
way.
fruit roll-ups
Gotcha.
I love. The ones that you actually get in the fruit section.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the waxy ones that have like the little tattoo on them.
Yeah,
Okay,
Like
I was
those
afraid you were
ones
going
are
to start
the
talking to us about the produce ones.
No,
because those are the OGs and those are the good
they
ones.
are delicious. No, the ones that like you could get like the tattoos on.
Okay.
I actually kind of like those. No, the actual fruit roll-ups, those are good. I will fight you
You're
on
talking like
those.
fruit by the foot.
Kind of, yeah.
Nope. Fruit by the foot was not around yet. I'm talking the round ones that came on the square plastic.
No, him.
That's not what.
Okay.
that's,
No,
not,
it's him.
that's not what we're talking about.
Okay,
Rust.
apologies.
Yeah, we're
I'm
not
just
talking
saying,
about.
don't confuse the
We're
fruit
not
by the foot with that.
Nobody is confused with that, Rust. Literally nobody.
Sorry, I just got fired up. My bad. I'm in here. I got Joey and Rufio, and I'm distracted.
This one. Can anyone say Pop-Tarts?
Oh, is that a shameful one?
I think it is.
Wait, what?
Like Pop-Tarts.
Wait,
Pop-Tarts get poo-pooed on a lot.
Because they're high
And you know
sugar
what?
content?
I
Who's
think
talking
I'll
to
go.
us about Pop-Tarts?
I'll go one step further. I actually like them toasted. I like them in the toaster
I
because
could not-
people are like, just to eat them. No, put that damn thing in a toaster the
I'd
way it's
much
supposed to be.
rather go
I could not tell you the last time I put a Pop-Tart in a toaster.
See, and I like the original flavor of
No
Pop-Tart.
frosting?
No.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
That's the true
No, with
original.
the frosting.
That's for serial killers like you, Danny.
No,
is-
God, no. I can't go down that road.
It was the cherry flavor
Yeah, look, I'm okay
with
with
the
that.
icing on top. Strawberry is good. S'mores is really good. I'm a fan of Pop-Tarts, and that's a good one for the ashamed to
Look, top
to be.
three, and in no particular order. You got your raspberry, your blueberry, and the brown sugar cinnamon.
Ooh, brown sugar cinnamon. I'm out on. I think that's way down on the power rankings, for me. Chocolate covered raisins. That's just an enjoyable treat. I think everybody
I
likes
think
that.
Raisinets?
I think that came in on the Vancouver Ford text line. I think
That was one of
is-
my favorite movie theater treats as a child.
It's
was
really
the old
good.
Raisinets.
I can't. I can't really think of like shameful. Like,
Oh man, I got one. Like this
What?
person says, gas station 7-Eleven food.
I do not go down that road.
Nah, man. I'm
Not
a
unless
sucker.
you want to poop in 5 minutes.
I am a sucker for only when I'm half in the bag. Because this was my walk home from the bars in college. We would stop at the 7-Eleven and I'd get nachos there at 7-Eleven. And that's what I'd eat on the second. Hey, it was the halfway point of the second half of my walk.
That's not as bad though.
I'd
because
have
that's
dude, everything is bad about that nacho cheese.
Well, no, we all know what that nacho cheese is. It's the
But-
same
and
whether it
it's-
comes from the gas
well,
station or the
yeah.
stadium.
It's the nacho cheese and it's the squirt chili out of the gun.
But if I am
But it also, for some reason, it's different because of the round
chips. Yeah, the round chips, they're good. They're good. But like when I go back down to Ashland, the hotel we stay in is right near 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to that every time. If the Uber stops at a 7-Eleven, I'm getting those nachos.
I will say that my neighborhood gas station, the one I stop at back and forth when I need gas or need to go grab some energy drinks.
So let me guess, 2 blocks from your house?
It actually is. It's very close. But they have, it's a Circle K, and they've really pushed into the food sector. There's two gas stations that I stop at, and there's one in Tiger right by Home Depot, and there's the one that I go to in Newburgh pretty regularly, just because of back and forth. But they both have like these massive glass case food things now, where it's like supermarket level.
Yeah.
And every single time I go in, there are people lined up to get the food. And every single time I go to the check stand and just grab my energy drinks, you want breakfast? You want lunch? You want this? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm good. Like, there's just something about that. Like, I am not above eating fried foods, but there's just something about the gas station food line that I just will not go down. I'll eat. Weirdly enough, I will have like supermarket sushi before I will go gas station food.
You're not living, man.
I don't know why.
Crunchy's fried chicken, very good. You can get those at gas stations.
Well, there's a couple places that like apparently have like genuinely good like crappy food.
Yeah, well, some of them have actually genuinely good food.
What's the one in the south? Of the
Buc-ee's?
Yeah, Buc-ee's. Yeah,
Buc-ee's is like an entertainment district in and of itself.
Buc-ee cheese.
I think an underappreciated advancement in the 7-Eleven technology from when I was a kid is now having more than like 2 flavors of Slurpees in the machine. Because when I was a kid,
take me back to just 2.
Because when I was a kid, you had Coke, you had cherry.
Yeah.
Not that was a problem, because I was always the Coke Slurpee guy.
Yeah.
And I'm 48 years old, and that would still be my number one go-to.
Or when the icy machine was there, you'd had blue and red.
The icy is not 7-Eleven. I believe that was an AM PM, perhaps.
Well, yeah, that's why I said it was the icy machine. It's a different thing, bro.
Okay.
Anyway. I didn't call it a Slurpee.
I'm talking Slurpees, dude. Catch up.
We found the thing that Russ gets defensive about.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, our worst day on the web. We're going to keep it in the food world. But first, here's the Big Kahuna Sports Center update.
You ever had a Big Kahuna burger?
No, but I had some Slurpees.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air, serving Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Gorge. Online at aneheatingandcooling.com. It's hard to stop a train. First on the Fan, Week 8 of the NFL season begins tonight with the Vikings at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. 5:15 kick on Prime Video. The Vikings are 2.5-point road favorites. The Rams have activated wide receiver Puka Nacua from injured reserve after missing 5 games due to a PCL injury. Only a 4-game slate tonight in the association. Your TNT doubleheader. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs at Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. That's a 4:30 tip. The Mavericks are 9-point favorites. And then followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder at Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Denver, 2-point favorites in that one. Then there is some top 25 action in college football this evening. Number 19 Pitt hosting Syracuse. 4:30 kick on ESPN. The undefeated Panthers are 5.5-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan. It's time for today's worst day on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
That sucks.
Now, keeping it in the vein of food, how do you feel about name changes of traditional snacks?
Ooh. By the way, I have a poll up at Dusty_Hera. How do you like your Pop-Tarts? Toasted or untoasted?
This should be a runaway.
We'll find out. We'll find out how many sick criminals are out there.
I don't know about you, but I always break off, like the frosted ones, I always break off the corners of the frosted ones that are just like unfrosted.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to give you guys, a little bit of a peek into the anxiety-ridden ADHD mind of one Jeff Rust.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I eat around every single side of the Pop-Tart and save the innards for the last few bites.
I don't think you're weird for that.
Okay.
Well, you get
I don't believe you, but thank you.
No, there's a lot of other reasons why I think you're weird, but that is not one of them.
No. But look, you want to go like full weird. Number one, I'm a Twizzlers over Red Vines guy.
Oh God, and that's why you are a serial killer.
But I eat it like
That
I'm
is so gross.
I eat it like I'm a chipmunk.
You're gonna go home and eat a candle?
Yeah. No, don't get me started. Red Vines, the candles, mine are plastic. Leave it alone. But
Red Vines actually taste like something.
I eat it like a what do you call it? Like a wood chipper. Like I just go and I like get like little teeny tiny pieces.
This is going to bring me back to
further.
Again. I don't think you're weird for that.
Yeah?
No, you do you, man. However you want to eat that Twizzler, you eat that Twizzler however the hell you want to eat that Twizzler.
I've done it ever since I was a kid.
You know what you can't do is you cannot eat a burrito like the dude in the Wendy's commercial eats the breakfast burrito. Why are we not talking about this more? You want to talk about the worst day on the web? Yeah. How about every time I see that damn commercial, I want to punch my television.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this.
He eats a burrito sideways like a criminal.
Oh, it's just like a bite right in the middle of the side?
It's intentional.
Yeah, that's awful.
Like they were trying to go viral with it. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
And
it was definitely, that was
I get triggered every time you know what it makes me want to do? Not get a breakfast burrito from there.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You don't deserve burritos if that's the way you're going to be having people eat your burritos.
That was a purpose pitch.
Don't do that to me.
That it wasn't intentional by them. And instead, the actor was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like, because that would make it
Somebody still had to sign off on it.
Well, I know, but like, if you're the director and you're shooting the commercial and the guy just goes like this and just turns the burrito 90 degrees and bites it sideways.
No.
You kind of have to keep rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many burritos you got on set? You know, what if they were like, that was like a
Andy
lone
Reid.
burrito?
No, Andy Reid. Remember, he made sure he ate every bite of the burger when he shot the commercial. What did he say? He ate like 8 burgers? Something like that when he did that?
It's because Andy Reid is an American treasure. But I'm a firm believer in you don't got to do S in your life except pay taxes and die.
I hate this.
You don't got to keep rolling because the dude bit into the side of the burrito.
Keep it rolling, baby. Keep that B-roll going.
You know, there's right now, I've only seen like 4 or 5. Now we're up to 5 tweets of people on the internet. And Wendy's, if you come out Wendy's, you better come correct. Wendy's social media team is elite.
Oh, they're great.
Yes.
Somebody said, Wendy's, this is not how you eat burritos. With the screenshot of that guy eating his burrito sideways on the back of a pickup truck. Wendy says, but this is how you eat Wendy's breakfast burritos. And that being the official stance of the company, I say, you don't deserve burritos, Wendy's. You don't deserve burritos.
I will say, I guess at least they owned it. They owned it.
Yeah, and you know what? That makes it even worse. Yeah. This is a company stance. They've drawn a line in the sand, and I will not have it.
And still,
stick to your Baconators.
In my mind, the best fast food Twitter account still is the KFC because they only follow 11 herbs and spices.
That's right.
Worst day on the web. Goldfish is officially changing their name from Goldfish to Chilean sea bass.
Oh, I actually like this.
Can you please grab me the Chilean sea bass out of the cupboard?
Like the Chilean sea bass, please.
It's a marketing ploy. It's a lot like when IHOP went IHOB.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know, International House of Burgers.
But it did spike their burger sales.
Yeah.
Like, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it when they do the name change?
No. I'm a creature of comfort, damn it.
Do you agree it works?
I do.
Because
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And would we be talking about goldfish today?
No.
No.
It works.
No. I like goldfish.
I think
tend
to like
instead
them
of
they're so delicious.
Yeah. Gotta go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I can eat them every day.
Also-
and my mom says that's okay.
My 8-year-old daughter would definitely be talking about them.
Boban reaching into the bag and having his hand rip it apart because he's got hands.
He's
like
got a catcher's
baseball
mitt.
Look at these right here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Look at these right here. I dipped into the kids' school snacks, and I got goldfish. I got Chilean sea bass right here, my friend.
You have baked Chilean sea bass.
Yeah, I do. Well, they're always baked.
Are they?
Yeah, they're baked crackers.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah, they're all baked.
Did they just change the branding on it? Is that why it says the baked now?
Yeah. It just says
Okay.
baked snack crackers.
I could have
That's
sworn
what they are.
Another
back in the day they weren't. I
not
could've-
necessarily proportional 1 through 3 ranking of the goldfish.
How would you think they are made, Danny? You think they're like
fried?
You think they're fried? No, they're baked.
Smoked.
Smoked.
Although, hey, I'm going to trademark that one.
Smoked goldfish? I bet somebody's done it with like smoked goldfish with like Gouda cheese on
Some
on
like
the Traeger.
applewood pellets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parmesan goldfish.
Yeah.
The original goldfish. I'm not talking the cheddar, just the plain
Mhm.
like oyster
Yeah.
cracker. And they make an Old Bay flavored one.
Ew.
Old Bay seasoning goldfish. Oh no, they're tremendous.
I mean, that's a name.
Yeah. Flavor blasted is my favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure it
I like
is.
a good flavor blast.
Yeah. It's an
Some
explosion of flavor in your mouth, Jeff.
always been baked. For some reason, I thought
Yeah.
in the earlier years they were
Yeah.
fried. For some reason, I don't know. But they were created in 1958 by a head of a Swiss Swiss baking company as a birthday gift for his wife, and the original name was Goldfishly.
Do you remember? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
They launched them in 1962 in the U.S. Cheddar cheese was introduced in
where was it created?
Switzerland. Yeah. Swiss, man. Chocolates and goldfish.
You know what? And Swiss Miss.
See, there you
Hot
go.
chocolate? Hot
Have you ever
chocolate?
put goldfish in your hot chocolate? A little salty
No.
sweet?
No. I don't think that'd be good. Cheese? Ugh. Just
Hot
soggy.
cheese and
this
chocolate.
Soggy, cheesy cracker. Sometimes you get me when you say these, and I'm like, ooh, maybe.
Wait, no.
That one,
No,
no.
that sounds
No.
Here's one that maybe have you out on goldfish. The inspiration from the fish comes from astrology.
Pisces?
There you go. I would not have gotten that.
All right.
I definitely would not have gotten that.
I guess now that I think back to my old Spanish language roots from high school and such, because yes, the Spanish word for fish is actually pescado would be seafood.
Yeah.
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 So that makes sense.
All right, so
The old Latin roots.
No, Rufio texting on the Vancouver Ford text. I can't wait to tell my kids I put Chilean sea bass in their lunchbox. Boy, that is not going to go over well.
Yeah.
If his kids are anything like mine, they'll just look at you and be like,
No!
you what? My son would probably punch me at some point.
And then if you actually had Chilean sea bass, you'd be like, oh, it's one of the.
I've never had it.
It's one of the seafoods that I get down on.
I probably won't.
It's pretty tasty.
No, I'm
Not
good.
gonna lie.
Nah, I'll try. Maybe.
All right, that's our worst day on the web.
Yeah,
Coming up
probably
next, some hot arena talk, and the only reason I'm going to bring it up is
Oh.
because there was actually some cool stuff with the Clippers opening Intuit Dome last night.
Yep.
Coming up with Danny Dusty, Tony the Fan. Even from inside Moda Center last night, I could see all of the video coming out of Intuit Dome, Los Angeles Clippers' new home in Inglewood, California, the $2 billion toilet bowl. It has all the bells and whistles, and it's the most.
I love Los Angeles!
It is the most dynamic arena in sports right now.
Yes!
May I ask one thing? Why did he worry so much about so many toilets and not just do a bunch of the pee troughs?
I have these notes, but I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Woo!
Thank you, Matt Foley.
Yeah. He's a ball of energy. I think I mentioned this last season when the Clippers came to town. So the media room where we all eat pregame is where we also do postgame with Chauncey. And in that area, that's where the main media bathrooms are, and it connects in the hall between the visitors' locker room and the media workroom. More often than not, you will catch GMs and maybe a vice president or a president of a team use those restrooms occasionally. You're like, oh, we'll go down here. Steve Ballmer is the only owner I've ever seen wait in line in that bathroom.
Yeah.
And he did it professionally and
yeah.
Both nights in a row because they played him in a back-to-back. And I was kind of like, you know what?
All right.
Good for you.
Are you telling me Steve Ballmer is an everyman?
No, he actually is. Like his I went to high school with his niece, know his nephews, and they like he's a chill dude, like a really good dude, like normal.
As normal as a billionaire can be.
Yeah. As normal as a billionaire can be.
Because you can't have that kind of money and not, because you are treated differently when you have that much money.
So he's not going around and doing weird faux jumping jacks on stage like a different one?
Like talks to his family still. Yeah. Like, all these things. But that arena is insane. Yeah. Have you seen the pictures from like the top rows of it?
Yeah.
It's a safety hazard.
You're like leaning forward.
Like you need to have like
a
harness and rigging to get down those stairs. I think the wall of fans is the coolest thing that any professional sports team has done since the Atlanta Falcons in their concessions.
Yeah, the wall of fans got KD last night.
He said it rattled me. Like I was surprised by it, and it took them a while to adjust. But basically, if you don't know what the wall of fans is, it's first come, first serve. You're vetted by the team. It's only for the hardcore fans. It's the first 13 rows behind the visiting team's bench or hoop in the fourth quarter. And so, like, the pivotal time you're on the visitor side bench, you are next to the hoop that they're going to be shooting their free throws on, and it's only the most passionate fans. Steve Ballmer said, I am done with having high hoity-toity, nose-in-the-air people sitting right next to the basket.
Yeah.
He wanted hardcore fans.
He wanted to be loud.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
The guy probably watched the Arizona State and the curtain
enough
times and went, that's dope. I want that experience for our team.
I think it is really cool that an owner is doing something for his fans.
Which I also, it's tongue-in-cheek here, but the toilets also is for fans. So you're not spending a crap ton of time on the crapper.
You see how much parking is there, though?
It's Inglewood.
General parking.
$70.
$70 per car.
Welcome to LA. It's that Inglewood area.
Not for the fans.
It's right next to the
LA Forum.
It is that same property, but also what's the new LA football stadium?
SoFi.
SoFi. It's in that same district, and parking there is an absolute premium.
That was cool though. I'm in it. I'm in on the dome.
Did you see the Halo screen?
Yeah.
That thing's crazy. For those of you know what I'm talking about, the video screen is an open circle that mimics the shape of the ring, and it's fully integrated into the arena. And by that, I mean, like, they have videos of, like, you know, they shoot a video of Kawhi Leonard with a T-shirt in his hand, like he's throwing it out to the crowd. Well, it's synced up to cannons on the top of the board, so that when he throws it and the angle that he throws it out, the cannon mimics it. So when he throws it on the screen, all of a sudden it appears shooting out from the same spot. It's just like,
that's awesome.
Like, everything they do is just like fully integrated.
Yeah.
And it's very cool, you know.
It's almost like a billionaire tech guy designed it.
And they want the entire thing. Number one, it's meant to make money, but it's meant to be about fan engagement and experience. If you're going to shell out metric crap ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to feel like you got something out of it.
If you're going to roll out James Harden, Terrence Mann, Norm Powell, Zubac, and Derrick Jones Jr.
And Kawhi Leonard street clothes.
Have a
Kawhi Leonard
good
street
experience.
clothes sounds like a cover band.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yeah. Like maybe that would be like the modern day Pearl Jam.
That's a good
right?
one.
Because they started as Mookie Blaylock.
See?
Ooh, speaking of Mookie Blaylock, do you know what drove me nuts? I think it was yesterday that I kept hearing on the show that precedes ours on the radio. A certain radio host kept referring to Mookie Betts as Mookie.
Mookie?
Mookie.
Mookie.
Not Mookie. Not Mookie Betts. He would call him Mookie.
I do like Mookie
like
Betts.
He's a,
though.
like
Sounds
he's
like
a,
milky.
Like he's a Chewbacca. Like he's a Wookiee.
Mookie. Okay.
Yeah.
So like cookie.
Mookie and not Mookie.
You do a good Chewbacca. Do it. There it is.
There
it is. We got it.
But yeah, arenas back. Subtle little note: ESPN did a rankings of all arenas in the NBA. Moda smack dab in the middle, 16.
Which sounds about right.
To be fair, it is the only arena in the NBA that has not been updated, which they are doing over the next 4 years.
Well, that's pretty good ranking then.
So yeah, no,
and believe it or not, it's one of the older arenas in the NBA now.
It genuinely is. And having been up at Climate Pledge is ahead of Moda now. But again, they spent $2 billion retrofitting that place as opposed to tearing it down and building a new one.
Retrofitting is a very loose term because they just kept like
a
few beams and
put up some new drywall
and the entire undercroft. No, like
everything else.
The entire undercroft is original. But everything else is new.
Yeah.
It's because they have the WNBA lockers and visitors, the NHL lockers, which are huge because you have more players and hockey, and the visiting lockers, and now an NBA locker.
There we go. Let's go.
Pretty cool. All right, coming up next. It's Thursday afternoon. It's 2 o'clock-ish, which means it's time for us to make our picks, which you do here in hour number 3 on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, Week 8 of the NFL season begins tonight with the Vikings at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. 5:15 kick on Prime Video. The Vikings are 2.5-point road favorites. The Rams have activated receiver Puka Nacua from injured reserve after missing 5 games due to a PCL injury. Only a 4-game slate tonight in the NBA. Your TNT doubleheader features Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs at Luka Doncic and the Mavericks for a 4:30 tip. Dallas are 9-point favorites. That's followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder at the Nuggets. Denver are 2-point favorites in that one. And there is actually top 25 action in college football tonight. Number 19, Pitt, hosting Syracuse. 4:30 kick on ESPN. The undefeated Panthers are 5.5-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Tired of getting dinged by subscriptions? We won't send you a bill. Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Portland, if you've ever wondered where to get your Blazers, Ducks, and Bees, it's right here on the airwaves of 1080. 1080 The Fan with Danny and Dusty. It's Danny and Dusty and Rust from noon till 3.
Hour number 3 here on a Thursday on Danny and Dusty, whether you're listening on 1080 AM, watching along on youtube.com/1080 AM The Fan, or twitch.tv/1080 AM The Fan. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this craptacular Thursday outside, because boy, did the fall switch get flipped.
It's nice and sunny out
did
now.
it warm up now?
It's like clear and stuff out
God,
there.
when I got here this morning, the fog was still sitting over the city.
Yeah, it's late October.
Oh.
We got the fogs. It's nice and sunny now.
Oh, okay, it was nasty this morning.
Yeah,
I came outside.
It was cold as hell too.
Yeah, I did. I came outside like a groundhog to check the weather, and I threw another layer on this morning.
This is why you need to check the weather app.
Yeah,
you need to be checking the weather at all times this time of year.
Well, I do have basketball shorts on underneath, so I can drop my pants. There you go. That's nice and clean for you.
No, it was very clean.
That was very clean.
That was very clean.
Hopefully just like the inside of your pants.
Yeah, well, give it time. Oops, I pooped my pants. It's time to make our picks.
How do you know so much about them? Because I'm wearing them, and I just did.
All right, time to make our picks. It's that time. It's Thursday at 2 o'clock. And switch time. It's for all of our NFL picks. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Oh my gosh,
we're doing pretty good. 17-10-1 for Rust, 18-9-1 for me, and Dusty 20-8. No kissing cousins on your board there.
No, not yet. This week may be a week where I think I have an even line. Yeah,
I kissed my sister twice.
I have a chance at an even line. I've been good on the hook this past weekend. I flirted with disaster a few times last week. I flirted with the Broncos Saints over 37. Late score in that one. Pushed that one up.
Oh, that's right. Literally, the late score got you over, huh?
Yep. It got me over in that. Colts -3 at Miami. Never a doubt. Eagles -3 at the Giants. Really never a doubt. And then the Bengals -5.5 last week.
I would just also like to point out that my 2 giant lines that I picked out last week and was made fun of, I was right.
I didn't make fun of you. I just said that they have not performed well, and to be careful with the lines over 7.
Nailed them both.
All right.
You lead us off, Dusty. You went 4-0.
I'm starting Thursday Night Football. Vikings -2.5 at the Rams. You have Cooper Kupp back for LA.
Puka
Nacua has been activated from the ramp up and will go for the Rams. I still think the Vikings, coming off their first loss of the year, -2.5. I think they win by more than a field goal. Give me Minnesota.
Look, the lines that have been like, how is that line this year, has worked out in my favor every single week this year. And this is one of those lines. Vikings -2.5 just feels like, how is the Rams, even with Kupp and Nacua back, aren't healthy. They haven't been really great this year, despite Stafford doing everything he can, and the Vikings have.
Yeah.
Give me Vikings minus 2.5. I don't.
They're doo-doo.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
You stole that from me. I was just about to hit that one because I too am picking this game, the Vikings minus 2.5 at the Rams, because those Rams,
they're doo-doo also.
Yeah, and I just don't see how this is within a field goal.
My second game, I'm going the Jets-Patriots over 41.
Ooh.
Over 41.
That's a lot of faith in Drake May.
Well, it's a lack of faith in either one of these defenses right now. But I feel like over 41 is an attainable score. I think we could see this one being like in the 24-17 range, which would be 41, right?
Okay.
So I think that if we're at 28-21, you hit. 28-24, you win. 24-21, you win. So I think we could see something in that range between these two teams, which is definitely going to be 10-3.
I am going to go down the line of Bills minus 3 at Seahawks. Look, I know it's East flying to West, which isn't as bad as West flying to East, but if the Bills are going to be the team they're supposed to be, this is a game that they win, and you're going to win by more than 3. It's just that simple for me. Better team win. The Seahawks getting healthy, getting some tackles back. They're still a little dinged up on defense. Their pass rush has been neutered a bit. They did make the trade for Ernest Jones. I don't know how impactful it's going to be right out of the gate. It could be, but I'm going to lean on the Bills getting a more functional offense up in Seattle.
I'm going to go to Cleveland this weekend, where the Baltimore Ravens are 8-point road favorites, even with that one guy going down that everybody booed and cheered and whatnot when he got hurt. And Jameis Winston, the clubhouse favorite, coming in and starting because DTR is also hurt. Those Browns, they're doo-doo. And the Ravens are not. So I'm taking Baltimore minus 8.
Third game on the docket for me, I am going to go with the Atlanta Falcons minus 2.5 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa literally doesn't have receivers anymore.
No, they're dead.
They're going to have to run the ball. Their secondary is still banged up. Kirk Cousins and the Falcons just got embarrassed at home against Seattle Seahawks. Give me Atlanta to cover 2.5 in Tampa.
I like it. This one is one that I'm making for the show, but I will not push on the wager button until this weekend when we know exactly who's going to go. But I've been riding both of these teams this year, particularly when it's 3 points or less. The Bears are 3-point favorites at the Commanders. I'm going to continue to ride the Bears here only because Jaden Daniels is likely going to be out. And even though the Commanders did look good even without Jaden Daniels, the Bears have got themselves a pretty decent defense.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota. And look, no Jaden Daniels today at practice. That's the major concern.
It's a pretty strong indicator, but I'm gonna nail this one down unless the line moves.
I'm gonna go right up against you there on that one because those commies, they did a good one for me last week when they were 8-point favorites and they shellacked. I forgot who they played. What does it matter? Anyway,
Panthers.
There we go. Thank you. But it was 10-0 when Mariota came in, and that's when I started to pucker up a little bit and be like, oh, no. And then they opened it up. So I'm taking Washington +3 against those Bears.
My final pick of the week is the Green Bay Packers minus 3.5 at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This one felt too comfortable and mildly stinky. It should be this and more, shouldn't it?
You would think. And Jacksonville coming off a win over the New England Patriots in London. But remember, they go back-to-back weeks in London. Then they have to come back to the States without a bye week. So I'm going to go with Green Bay in this one. Pack have looked good, man.
No, they
just knocked off the Houston Texans. They're on a 3-game heater right now. Their only blemishes this year out of the gate to the Eagles down in Brazil, and then to the unbeaten Minnesota Vikings. In that game was a tight one as well. Give me Green Bay to win this game. I don't care.
Circle the cheeseheads.
I know 2.5. Don't get it.
It doesn't not making a whole lot of sense for me.
Well, I mean, Jordan Love, maybe. Do you see the article? Does Jordan Love have an interception problem?
Oh, is that what we're chasing
come on,
now?
what are we doing here?
My final line, I'm going Chiefs Raiders over 41.5. 9 of the last 10 games between the Chiefs and Raiders have been more than 46 points. Regardless of what stage of crappiness the Raiders are in, points end up being scored.
Yeah.
This rivalry game that just tends to, for whatever reason, this tends to be a higher scoring matchup historically. No matter what stage of the Raiders or the Chiefs, the Mahomes Chiefs scoring a lot of points or relying more on their defense. The Raiders not having any semblance of offense, finding a way to score against the Chiefs. I don't know why the hell this happens, but if you just go through the history of Chiefs-Raiders, this is a game that somehow the offense breaks out.
Yep. I will say, on the Packers thing, their secondary has been banged up. They got a bunch of guys questionable, including Jair Alexander in the secondary, but I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm, on this one, going to go directly against Mr. Hara with Green Bay at Jacksonville. Did you have it at, what did you?
3.5.
3.5? Okay. Well, I had
On
it
the
at 4.
draft.
We'll go with 3.5.
On the DraftKings.
Yeah. I think it changes like in the last half an hour or so up to 4, but I'll take the 3.5. And basically, for no reason other than I'm going to take the Costanza stance and say that basically what I originally thought I should probably go the opposite of. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jacksonville plus 3.5 because I have not been good at all on picking the Jacksonville Jaguar games this year.
Okay.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks, our picks for the week ahead of Thursday Night Football. Coming up next, Chris Haynes is breaking some news in the NBA that is pretty interesting concerning the Los Angeles Clippers and a lawsuit and the potential ramifications it holds, not just with how they have treated Kawhi Leonard medically, but implications that the Clippers, gasp, operated outside the CBA in pursuit of Kawhi Leonard years ago out of Toronto. Danny and Dusty, today, the Fan.
she always knows her place. She's got style.
Chris Haynes, formerly of Turner Sports, he's operating independently right now. Was the first to break the story, and now Baxter Holmes of ESPN also has his story up at ESPN.com about a former LA Clippers strength conditioning coach suing Lawrence Frank, the president and GM of the Los Angeles Clippers, for wrongful termination. That's the least surprising thing in this. What's interesting or eyebrow raising in this is that what is coming out of this lawsuit, and that is the wrongful termination came around as part of raising concerns about the management of Kawhi Leonard's health and injuries and how the Clippers were handling them, and also saying, I am going to willfully and totally cooperate with the NBA if they want me to snitch on the Clippers for operating outside the bounds of the CBA and the spirit of the CBA in their pursuit of Kawhi Leonard, which he alleges started in 2017.
When he ended up going to LA, this was a big story because of the fact that there had already been a tampering fine that Doc Rivers got about talking about Kawhi Leonard, which is a no-no. They remember when he was in Toronto, there was also that report of the Clippers always being at his games for whatever reason. Yeah. And that's mentioned in the Baxter Holmes article too. But we remember there were these little nuggets and it was at the time, it was just whatever, you know,
and you remember there was
tampering happens across every professional sport.
The idea that the Clippers may or may not have purchased Kawhi Leonard a home and then allowed him to have a helicopter to fly back and forth between games.
So this is kind of taking it a step further, though, in what Shelton, who is a former strength and conditioning coach at San Diego State with Kawhi
Leonard in college.
When he was drafted by the Spurs hired him to come over and be a strength and conditioning coach. Then, after Kawhi went up to Toronto, he went back to San Diego, Shelton did. But he's claiming that over time, including while Kawhi was still in San Antonio.
Back in 2017.
Clippers brass was contacting him, knowing that it was against the rules because they were saying we need to be discreet about this, trying to get Kawhi's medical history.
Privileged medical information.
Trying to get how severe a lot of his injuries were, how they would handle them, if they should make a move on him. And this was in 2017. This is before the Spurs were even open to dealing Kawhi Leonard.
This is basically right around the time that Zaza Pachulia stepped underneath him. It was the dirty play. And injured Kawhi, and that led to a fracture within the Spurs organization because Kawhi Leonard and his Uncle Dennis, believed that they were not treating his injuries correctly, blah, blah, blah.
Remember, it went from ankle to quad to
knee
everything.
to everything. And then eventually the Spurs traded him away. Look, I love DeMar DeRozan, but they traded him away for pennies on the dollar for what he was because the relationship was so fractured. I believe it ended up being a DeMar DeRozan a first, if I remember right, which is insane to think about.
In the NBA, yeah.
It's insane to think about. Yeah. And again, that's not a shot at DeMar. I love DeMar, one of my favorite players to watch. But Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, is one of the probably 12 best players in the history of the game.
That is trading your franchise quarterback for one first-round pick.
And a good quarterback.
A really good receiver. But you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, there you go. Remember, Kawhi Leonard is a two-time champion, Finals MVP. The dude in his prime is a complete and utter monster.
Where this goes one step even further in what Shelton is alleging is that he was down at San Diego State again while Kawhi was in Toronto, and the Clippers hired him to lure Kawhi Leonard back to
years
LA.
In advance. Again.
And so this is where the tampering goes to ratchet it up over, this is now several years where the NBA was turning a blind eye. I think the only consequence was a $50,000 fine to Doc Rivers, right? In any of this. And now basically Shelton is suing for wrongful termination and saying, nope, I'm going to put it all out there and going to dare the NBA to do something about it. But if the NBA does something about it, at this point, do the Clippers start turning on other franchises if they get hit with it? Because usually that's what happens, right? Or the league doesn't give a stiff enough penalty to the Clippers to protect everybody else. Major League Baseball. That's how the business gets done.
The immunity gets handled,
Yeah, like you get a slap on the wrist and everybody gets the, hey, knock it off.
Mm-hmm.
And the Clippers look really bad and the fans get really mad at the league, but the other 29 teams in the league are all protected.
I will just say this as far as where this sits right now. If you are an owner in the NBA, the last person you want to see snooping around is Baxter freaking Holmes. Yep. That man is the Grim Reaper of it's not a hit piece. It's deep dive, fact-finding, investigative journalists. He is the best in the business, in the sports world. And if you have dirt, that man will find it. Go back and look at every owner that has had their franchise either forcibly removed from them or tangentially removed from them. Every executive. Look, I have heard that he was tipped off about Neil Olshey just before that became a problem, and that he was probably on his way up here during that time period. So
Baxter Holmes is the NBA. Like the equivalent of college football is if Dan Wetzel and Charles Robinson start kicking the tires on your program. You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, because they're going to find out.
They will.
Because here's the thing. They'll find that one person in HR. They'll find that one person who leads to another thread, who leads to another thread, who leads to another thread. Somebody who's, more often than not, has nothing to do with basketball.
Yeah, it's like a janitor.
Yeah. And
find the janitor, and he's like, oh, yeah, I know about that.
Let me go ahead and slip you $10,000. Thanks, buddy. And then that leads to and I'm not saying they're doing
$10,000. I think I don't think it's that much.
Well, say you know how this works. Hey, you have something that leads to something, you'll get compensated. But these guys, if you see Baxter Holmes sniffing around, it's not just smoke. There's fire.
Well, you don't think the Clippers will say, "Oh, really? You want to come down on us? How about the Lakers landing LeBron James?" You want to take a look into the Lakers and LeBron? You want to take a look into the Warriors and KD? You want to go ahead and look at
the New York Knicks and their pursuit of KD and Kyrie? But here's the thing. When you do that, when you start, this is one of those things where...
You want to look into Miami's attempts at Dame?
Yeah, good Lord. This is one of those things where if you get caught, you just got to fall on the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, that's how this goes. It's, hey, look, we all play the same game, but if you get caught, you get caught. And you can't do well, what about them? Because the second you do that, then it's 29 against 1, and then you're screwed.
See the NFL and Miami Dolphins with Tom Brady.
Perfect example.
The Brian Flores lawsuit, by the way, is the only reason why it came out. Is Brian Flores sued, and
everybody
they were like,
knew what happened.
Oh, crap.
Yep.
And so they had to do something about it.
And that's where... Look, I've heard all of the rumors and everything surrounding Kawhi for years, both in San Antonio and in the Clippers' pursuit of him, and nothing here sounds outside the boundaries of what I've heard over the years. Now, it's all unsubstantiated, and there's some things that I know to be fact, and there's some things I know to be false. But if I had to be a betting man here, I would start leaning towards this being a very, very bad position for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, dang, man. But at least they got the wall of fans and a bunch of toilets.
Just unfortunate timing with, Kawhi Leonard being injured and not ready for the season and their team not being good.
You want a tinfoil hat? You want a tinfoil hat here?
Mm-hmm.
You want a tinfoil hat?
Mm-hmm.
The NBA doesn't want the Thunder to get the first-round pick, so the Clippers will have to forfeit their first-round pick this year because they have a pick swap with the Thunder.
That's pretty good.
Adam Silver planted this.
That's pretty good. Like, no, because Sam, no.
By the way, this year,
pick
swap between the Thunder and the Clippers as a result of the Paul George trade. So if the Clippers have a bad year, they just lost game 1 to the Suns. If they have a bad year, the Thunder can unprotected pick swap. Mm-hmm. If they were to land the number 1 pick, Oklahoma City could say, mine, and they get Cooper Flag.
Hey, that Paul George trade, it's a good thing the Clippers still have Paul George on the roster, right?
I'm going to tinfoil hat that. Yeah, he's so good for them and for Philly right now.
Think about that trade now.
Well, he also doesn't play there right now.
It's tough.
Yikes.
He's not playing for 2 teams.
Yikes, brah.
This is going to be an interesting story to follow.
Yep.
But as we get more information on it, which seems to be coming quite rapidly, including ESPN and Chris Haynes both have copies of the lawsuit. So I think it's pretty clear.
This is the lawyers of Shelton handing the lawsuit
to everyone,
to him, because, oh, wow, coincidentally, ESPN just obtained this lawsuit, and they have direct quotes from his lawyers. Well, I wonder how they got it.
And also, apropos of nothing, and I love Chris Haynes. He's a wonderful human being. We work together at the old CSN and stuff. He might be the only person that moves from job to job more frequently than Jed Fish.
Yeah. Yeah. What is he doing? Where is he posting these stories to?
Twitter.
Just Twitter?
Yeah. He's unaffiliated currently.
Dude, I love Haynes. He's a great dude.
Great dude.
Like I said, good dude. He's tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the world of the newsbreakers. They're all changing spots. All right, coming up next, we want to talk some more football?
No, yeah, dude, this story out of Denver's crazy right now.
Yeah, I mean, wide receivers need to stop getting shot.
Dang, man.
I mean, holy crap. Yeah, no, that's not something.
Did they get Ricky Pearsall again?
No, somebody else. Wow.
No.
But first is Big Canoa Sports Center update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction. Check out their award-winning outdoor living designs or schedule your free design consultation at vulcandc.com. First on the Fan, Week 8 of the NFL season begins tonight with the Vikings at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. 5:15 kick on Prime Video. The Vikings are 3-point road favorites. The Rams have activated receiver Puka Nacua from injured reserve after missing 5 games due to a PCL injury. And Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson is out as he continues to recover from a torn ACL and MCL suffered last December, but they do plan to have him available next week against the Colts. Only a 4-game slate tonight in the association. Your TNT doubleheader features Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs at the Mavericks. That's a 4:30 tip. The Mavericks are 9-point favorites. That's followed by SGA and the Thunder at Nikola Jokic, and the Nuggets. Denver are 1.5-point favorites in that one. And there is some top 25 action in college football this evening. Number 19 Pitt hosting Syracuse. 4:30 kick on ESPN. The undefeated Panthers are 5-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan Merch Locker has new shirts from the fan shows and hosts you love. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com.
Commercial Industrial
Unfortunately, this is the second time this season we were going to talking about a NFL wide receiver being shot.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall obviously was shot in San Francisco, 2 months ago now in the chest, and this somehow returned to play. Now Denver Broncos wide receiver Josh Reynolds has been shot twice, and they are clarifying it and calling it minor wounds when there's a gunshot wound to the head.
Yeah. So this story is wild. Janet Orovitz of 9 News in Denver has got the story on this one, and it's a doozy. So Josh Reynolds and 2 friends were apparently at a strip club in Denver, and NBA fans will know this strip club very well. Shotgun Willie's.
Oh, you're kidding me.
The place that Ja Morant was caught on video brandishing his weapon.
Oh, weird how something bad might happen at a place called Shotgun Willie's.
So at Shotgun Willie's on Friday, shortly after 3 a.m., 911 received 3 different phone calls, okay, of men saying that they had been shot. And the GPS tracking put all 3 in like the same area. And the investigation is showing that apparently Josh Reynolds and 2 of his associates were at Shotgun Willie's, and they were watching the old dancers. This guy, 2 guys have been arrested in this, by the way. Luis Mendoza. I do not believe it is the Luis Mendoza that pitched for the Kansas City Royals. Not that Luis Mendoza, but a man named Luis Mendoza and all-time criminal name Burr Charlesworth.
Burr?
B-U-R-R, Charlesworth. Burr Charlesworth.
No relation to Bill?
No, because it's his first name is Burr. He's Burr Charlesworth.
Burr.
These 2 guys have been arrested because they just walked up behind Josh Reynolds, and apparently those 2 guys walked in, and their eyes weren't on the dancers. Like surveillance cameras say, they were just locked on Reynolds and his guys that he was there with.
Likely targeted either because they know they're NFL players, or that they have money, or the outstanding beef. It's usually one of the 3.
This is crazy. I mean, according to the report, the documents say Mendoza did not engage with the entertainers, but instead watched the victims. As they left, Mendoza followed them out, the documents say. Several other vehicles have been seen pulling out in and out of the parking lot, and people inside them appeared to be waiting for the victim to leave. 3 vehicles were seen following the victims, the documents show. In most of the videos reviewed by investigators, Mendoza's vehicle was directly behind the victims. So they came to a stop.
Carjacking.
Pop. Multiple shots, and they just kind of, all 3 guys in the car scattered. I guess Reynolds and one of the other guys had scrapes from jumping over a fence and trying to get away from these guys. So that's a scary situation, man. Like Josh Reynolds, if you're wondering why he was out at 3 a.m. on a Friday night, he's on the injured reserve with a broken finger. So he's away from the team as it is, but still doesn't make this thing any better.
What are you doing?
Yep.
Look,
nothing good happens after midnight. That's what my coach has always said.
Look, I'm not going to tell people how to live. Young, dumb millionaires are going to go out and do young, dumb millionaire things.
Young, dumb, and full of what?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying that they deserve this or they invite them on themselves and blah, blah, blah. That's not it. You should be able to look. Regardless of what you think or believe, going to a strip club is not against the law. It's something you can go do. It's fine, whatever. But you do, in a sense, invite situations and ramifications.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shotgun Willie's has become notorious now because, and here's the Josh Reynolds, Ja Morant. If you think they're the only ones that have ever been look, I've heard of Shotgun Willie's long before Ja Morant. It is notorious in the NBA. And it's because of the way they handle things with discretion. That room.
Obviously not.
Well, no, I mean, not now.
Obviously not, because they're the ones that handed over the video of Ja Morant flashing a weapon.
Well, not only that, in a room full of money.
Yeah.
Or there's a security guard that did. But historically, there was a place that you could go and you could get a private room and you could act a fool. Which, if you're going to act a fool, it's the way to do it. Not be Plaxico Burress and be in a club and shoot yourself in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a fully
Not
club.
good.
No.
Not good.
But this sounds like it was a hit.
Absolutely. From the way that it's described in this report
like
by 9 News, it sounds like this was very targeted. It doesn't appear that they wanted anything specifically.
No.
They were just following Josh Reynolds and his buddies, or his buddies, I guess. Who knows what the guy's
Josh
with,
Reynolds might just be a bystander here. Like, again, probably not the case, but.
Well, I'd have no idea. This is
nuts.
You don't hear about this kind of stuff very often.
No,
thankfully.
now we have 2 cases of it in the span of a couple months.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Golly.
Do you want to talk about the Vikings and the Rams?
Maybe. I mean, we can.
Okay.
I think this is going to be an interesting game. There's a lot of intrigue around this game now.
Yeah, there's a lot of return, and there's some stuff on the line. Let's talk about that next segment. Danny Dusty, 10 the Fan.
That's the Yankees skipper.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will not like Yankees, though.
Well, why is he talking USC, UCLA.
I'm assuming something got brought up about LA.
Yeah, because SC's got Rutgers this weekend.
It's
quite the opposite of.
Inside USC retweeted a Yankees video. It says, Aaron Boone talking about his college days and the USC-UCLA rivalry.
All right. LA guy. Brewing for 4 years.
I mean, yeah.
Boy.
I can't help people who choose the wrong institutions.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't Garrett Cole pitch for UCLA? I mean, Garrett Cole, I'm pretty sure he went to UCLA, didn't he?
Is he Tennessee?
I don't know. I thought he was a UCLA guy.
I could be wrong. I get my colleges mixed up for a lot of pitchers for whatever reason.
Garrett Cole, University of California, Los Angeles.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he was I think he was on the same team as Bauer, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right.
He and Trevor Bauer? Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's why Boone's got something against him.
I mean, look, Garrett Cole's never been sensitive about anything in his entire life.
Come on now. He definitely won't hold that against his coach. The Vikings-Rams play tonight. 5-1 Vikings take on the 2-4 Rams for Thursday Night Football. It's not a craptastic game.
I think this is going to be a really good game. It's a weird thing to say about a Rams team that
2-4
has been really bad and really awful, but Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp back. You got, it's Slot-tober right now, where you got the two best slot receivers in the NFL on one damn team. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like, they've got two of the best route runner possession type receivers. And to think of 2-4 being out of it in the NFC West, you're not. They're actually only a game out in the loss column from being in first place in the NFC West. And if the Buffalo Bills go and beat the Seattle Seahawks this weekend, they'll be even with now the division leader, Seahawks, in the loss column.
Which is that division, it's not the worst division in football, but it's a pretty nasty division.
Yeah, it's nowhere near. It's not even it's probably the second best division in the NFC.
And okay. Worst division in football or in the NFC right now. Best division is NFC North.
Best division in all of football is the NFC North.
Hands down. Second best division in the NFC is not the East.
It's definitely not the South. It's the NFC West. And this is why I say it's probably the second best division, is because come playoff time, are you going to trust the Seahawks or the 49ers? Or are you going to trust the Commanders being really young, the Eagles with the fractures that they have?
Heaven forbid the
Cowboys, not going to trust. You don't have to worry about trusting the Giants.
I mean, look. Even with McDonald as the new coach in Seattle, I still would trust organizationally that the structure of the Seahawks over every team in the NFC East.
And they get healthy, especially up front on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Like their offense, Geno managing Kenneth Walker,
keeping
DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett. Like, you can sit there and say, yeah, Seattle, pretty damn good. San Francisco ever gets healthy, you'll be like, yeah, really damn good.
Don't think that's happening.
Okay, just take the best, the worst team in each of those divisions. Who you taking head-to-head, the Giants or the Rams?
Yeah, it's the Rams.
Right?
Yeah. Even though the Giants do have a pretty functional defense, the Rams even beat up quarterback play. Even Stafford behind the 8-ball is, yeah.
Let's go second worst team. You taking the Cowboys or the Cardinals right now?
God, that's revolver or acid bath.
Arizona just beat the Chargers.
Yeah, I can't. You beat a team without an offense.
I know.
God. I'll go Cardinals, but I'm not comfortable with that one at all. That makes me physically ill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Cowboys' most recent memory, remember, was 47-9 loss.
Yeah, no, and getting hook and laddered on it by an offensive lineman.
Niners, Eagles, which one are you taking?
Niners.
Okay, Seahawks or Commanders?
Recency bias makes me want to go Commanders, but structurally, the last 10 years, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Even though there's
even though the Seahawks did lose at home to the New York Football Giants.
Yes. But they also invented ways to lose in that game. And to be fair, the Giants would have beaten the Commanders if they had a kicker.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
So, there you go.
So, yeah. I mean, you could make the argument.
God, the NFC sucks.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, it's always something we talk about, but my God, the NFC North really is just a class above the rest of that whole conference.
They eating. They are eating.
Which, again, now they have the Vikings have a chance to get a bounce-back game after, losing on a late field goal to the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good little spot for them to be in. And the Vikings have quietly, not quietly, just gone about their business. And if they can continue to just status quo this thing and get healthier, or as healthy as one can be going into the playoffs, you're gonna have some fun with this team. What you giggling about? What you got?
The Vancouver Ford text line. Do a segment about Shotgun Willies. Follow it with the sponsored Aztec Willies spot. That's synergy.
I mean,
they're not related.
Not related.
Different
Aztec
Willies.
Shotgun Willies?
Yeah, they're different. They're different Willies.
A lot of Willies. Not to be confused with the Wets.
I don't know what that means.
The Wet Willies.
Oh, okay. That's a lot more innocuous than I thought it was.
I wasn't going to be that bad.
Really? We know you, Danny.
Come on.
For over 2 years now.
Come on now.
Oh, man. All right.
So.
Yeah, this back to Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Pretty good little game.
Look,
and does Sam Darnold do they right the ship again? Because we've seen this before with teams that start hot and then they start slowly coming back down to earth. There's going to be no T.J. Hawkinson again tonight for the Minnesota Vikings.
But they're saying he'll be back next week.
Maybe tomorrow. We've seen this before where teams go out to a hot start and then the shine comes off their armor and all of a sudden we start seeing losses pile up. And for Minnesota, they came out, they were really damn impressive the first 3 weeks against the Giants, the Niners, and then the Texans. Then they eke one out against the Packers. They eke one out against the Jets. And then they finally lose to the Lions. Is this a return to earth for them, or do they right the ship and get things back on the right track?
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Vikings injury report. Honestly, they're getting healthier. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. All right. That does it for us today. We will be back tomorrow from noon until 3. It'll be a Football Friday
Don't make
edition.
threats like that.
We got a lot of football that we need to get to.
We do. We haven't even really touched college at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week of college football. Great week in the NFL, too.
It is. We got a nice little slate.
I'm in, baby. Let's get going. All right, up next, you get 4 hours of power from their mouths to your ears. It's prime time with us. Good Sook. Have a great Thursday, everybody. See you on Football Friday.
Bye. I can drop my pants.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and